Two.
Good evening. The time is now 6:30 p.m. and we want to welcome you to the Thursday, August 12th meeting of the Business Industrial Development Authority and the Mayor and Council. This is our joint meeting, and I am Jamel McKenzie, the chair of BIDA. And I will turn this, I guess Madam Mayor, would you like to open up for your Mayor and Council?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Bianca Motley-Broom, Mayor, and in regard to our quorum, we do have a quorum here with council members Allen, Clay, and Taylor. So I would call our meeting to order at 6:31 p.m.
Okay, and so at this time, we have a quorum with our BIDA board members. So let's start with our BIDA board members, then followed by the mayor and council and everyone that's on the call. If you would just announce yourself. Again, I'm Jamel McKenzie, chair of the Business Industrial Development Authority.
Anita Brown-Cadis, representing Ward 3.
Eleanor Cornelius, representing Ward 4.
Leslie Zen, BIDA at large.
I'm Bianca Motley-Broom. I'm the mayor.
Ambrose Clay, representing Ward 1.
Derek Taylor,
Representing
Ward
3.
Derek Taylor, Mayor Pro Tem, Ward 2.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mercedes Miller, the interim city manager for the great city of College Park.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Vita Board. My name is Althea Floyd Bradley, Director of Finance and Accounting, City of College Park.
Winston Denmark, City Attorney.
Good evening, Denise Cole, GICC, Interim Director for the GICC Gateway Center Arena and College Park Golf Course.
Good evening, Shavela Moore, City Clerk.
Good evening, I'm Renee Coakley, Main Street Manager for the City of College Park.
Tasha Hall Garrison, Community Development Administrator for City of College Park and Assistant Secretary Treasurer for Clearly College Park.
Nikki Washington, serving as City Planner for the City of College Park.
Dan Lee, Attorney for BIDA.
Economic Development, College Park.
Was that two people speaking at the same time?
Can you hear me, Madam Chair?
Yes, sir. Now we can.
Okay. R.D. Jones, Executive Director, Clearly College Park.
Okay.
Ed Wall, Financial Advisor to the City of College Park and BIDA.
Good afternoon, Doug Selby, Hunton Andrews Kurth, Bond Counsel for the City of College Park.
I think maybe it's my turn. Mike Kazimias, attorney at QTAC Rock. We're on for an agenda item, a bond resolution regarding the Summersby project.
Welcome. And I think we have, okay.
Susan Van Gelder, also at QTAC Rock.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you. And at this time, we are going to move on with our meeting. We've got quite an extensive agenda today. We're going to begin with the review and approval of minutes for our July 8th BIDA meeting. Are there any corrections or adjustments or anything that would stand in the way of us approving these minutes this evening?
So moved, Madam Chair.
All righty. It's been moved that we approve our minutes for July 8th. Does someone like to second that?
Second.
All right. Thank you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All righty. Thank you. Secondly, review of our BIDA meeting minutes. We had a special call meeting on July 8th. Are there any corrections, adjustments there? If not, can we get a motion to approve?
So moved.
All right, so moved, double moved. Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All righty. Thank you very much. Do we have any additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to tonight's agenda?
Madam Chair, if you would allow me to read my resignation letter to the BIDA board this evening.
Okay, I guess we'll save that for later in the meeting since you're still in today's meeting. So we'd like to have your participation if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
Okay, well, thank you. We will add that on. Do we need to, does that need to be voted upon to allow Eleanor to make, or that kind of will go under announcements?
It doesn't, Madam Chair. Remember, the resignation of a member would go to the mayor and council and would be effective upon its acceptance by the mayor and council. So Miss Eleanor telling us goodbye won't be official until mayor and council receive it or accept it.
So should we have that letter read during this meeting?
It doesn't affect her ability to vote. Again, it will not be official until the mayor and council accept her resignation.
Okay, so where should we put that then?
Anywhere.
Okay.
In the public part, anywhere.
Okay, in the public part. Okay, so we'll just add that on to new business. That'll be letter D, new business, or the reading of Eleanor's resignation letter. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you, Eleanor. Okay, so we'll proceed on with our new business for tonight. And I'm probably going to yield some of this to Artie, but we know that Tasha has taken on quite a bit of new responsibility, pretty expansive. She's doing a great job. She is currently our assistant secretary. And so what we'd like to do is free her up to be able to concentrate on everything else she's doing. And Artie, should I just go on, because I do have someone that I would like to make a nomination for to replace our assistant secretary?
Go for it.
Okay, so I would like to nominate Mr. Breatha Beasley to be our assistant secretary, to take on Tasha's responsibilities. I think Tasha will still work along with Sabritha, but she's already been doing quite a bit in terms of assisting us. So so I'm making that nomination. Would anyone like to second that, or does anyone have another nomination?
So moved.
Okay, all righty. Second. Oh, second. I think I guess that was a second. Eleanor second. And so,
okay,
because I nominated. Okay, those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, so we have it. Mr. Breatha Beasley will now replace Tasha as our assistant secretary treasurer. Okay, so Breatha, I think she's somewhere listening, but welcome and welcome to this side of the world here. Okay, item B under new business is the Summersby bond resolution, and I'm going to turn this into the hands of Artie.
Okay. And on this, as the BIDA board can remember, there's a project that's in the south side of College Park called the Summersby project. It's a multifamily housing project with retail. On this evening, we are requesting that the BIDA chair, we're requesting that the BIDA board authorize the chair to execute a bond resolution for the Summersby multifamily housing project. And Ed Wall is here to address any questions that you might have, as well as bond counsel. And I guess I'll turn the time over to Ed and the crew, and they can address any questions that you guys might have. This project has been going on for some time now. And it's probably, the property was annexed into the city of College Park about almost 18 months ago now. And we've been working on this project. We've been meeting on a monthly basis to get all the paperwork together. There's many iterations of this paperwork that we have, that the attorneys have all been reading through over and over again. And we're excited that we're finally about to move forward with the project. So Ed?
Yes,
Attorney
thank
Campbell?
you. So, Madam Chair and members of the BIDA board, you have before you tonight a bond resolution for $30 million of tax exempt bonds, up to $30 million tax exempt bonds for a mixed use project. The address is, I think, 5371 West Fayetteville Road. I drove by today to look at it. I was in College Park earlier with a meeting with Artie, and it's across the road from the SunTrust building, next to the elementary school there on that road. Looks like it's some vacant property that is there. It's going to be 9 buildings, 244 residential units with community space, a common area. They'll have 64 one-bedrooms, 122 bedrooms, and 63 bedrooms. The total project size is about $65 million. About $30 million is these bonds that they're going to sell. $38 million is tax credit equity. And you all gave this project an inducement resolution, I don't know, a month or 2 months ago. And after that, Mr. Mike Casamillas and a bunch of folks have been drafting documents to fulfill the transaction getting done. And this bond resolution is the first step to go into validation. And I think it'll close sometime around October. And so you all are acting as conduit because they have to use an authority like you in order to get access to tax exempt financing. So I'm open for any questions.
I have a question which is truly just for information only, and that is, what is the dollar amount of 60% or less of the area median gross income? Who are we?
Mike, do you know that?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think Josh and Edric Harris, Josh Marks and Edric Harris are on from Prestwick. I don't know if you guys know off the top of your head what that currently is.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the question, Ms. Brown. My name is Josh Marks with Prestwick Development Company. If I understood the question correctly, you're asking for the number of units that are.
No, I'm just.
I think the median income.
The median income.
Yeah, what
Or
base
fewer.
is 60% off.
Folks know what 60% is.
Gotcha. So 60% is actually calculated based on per people per bedroom. And so for our property, it's between about 37,000 per year for like a 1-bedroom, and up to a 3-bedroom would be somebody who's making, or a family who's making around 52,000. So
Okay.
between 37 to 52,000 is 60% area median income.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions for Ed or the team that's here? Okay, and so this is an action item. Would someone like to entertain a motion from the floor to adopt or accept this bond resolution?
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you very much. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, those opposed? All righty, well, thank you. So that is.
Thank you, guys.
Let us
Appreciate
move
it.
on. And thank you all. Okay, have a good evening. I mean, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care. Thanks.
you.
Thanks, Ed, and everyone. Bye now.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, item C, discussion of an MOU between the City of College Park Business Industrial Development Authority and Next Era. And this is a memorandum that's dated August 2nd from Executive Director Artie Jones. And so Artie, will once again give this to you.
Okay. And also, well, this MOU, the project is called Project Mickey, and it's an MOU between the City of College Park and Next Era. Next Era plans to build a battery farm in the City of College Park, right on the edge of the city, right beside the city of South Fulton. They are looking, the MOU is pretty much self-explanatory. It explains what the City of College Park agrees to, and it also explains what the Next Era agrees to also. This agreement is non-binding. This agreement is nothing more than the framework of a formal deal to come into the near future. This project is to be developed sometime around 2024, 2025. Ed Wall and I are here to address any questions, as well as Dan Lee. This project will have a value somewhere between $400 million and $600 million. Like I said, we're here to address any questions that you might have. You'll see in your packet that we have the red line version. You guys saw an MOU approximately like 3 months ago. We talked about this particular MOU with Next Era, and we've went back since that time to make various adjustments, negotiating with the attorneys for Next Era, and you'll see what those changes and adjustments are. And like I said, Dan Lee, Ed, and I are here to address any questions that you might have. And what we're asking for tonight is for the BIDA board to authorize the chairman of the Business and Industrial Development Authority to execute this memorandum of understanding.
Any questions or concerns? If not, would like to entertain a motion to execute, for the chair to execute this MOU.
So moved.
All right, thank you again, Madam Mayor. Second, would someone like to second it, please?
Second.
All right, thank you, Cornelius. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, please make it known. Okay, well, thank you. It's unanimous then. All righty. Thank you, Artie. Okay, item D is a resignation letter from board member Cornelius.
Hello, everybody. I'm feeling all kinds of emotions this evening because I have thoroughly enjoyed my tenure here on Clearly College Park Business Industrial Development Authority Board. So here goes. College Park Business and Industrial Development Authority, attention, Jamel McKenzie, Chair, 3667 Main Street, College Park, Georgia, 30337, regarding resignation from BIDA of Eleanor Cornelius. Dear Madam McKenzie and fellow council members, please accept this letter as a formal notice of my resignation from the College Park Business and Industrial Development Authority, BIDA. In my tenure with BIDA, I served as chairman in 2017, 2019, and 2020. Additionally, I created Robert's Rule of Order, BIDA uniform shirts, the workshop handbook, revision of the workshop handbook, protocol adopted when using BIDA property, and have always strived to recognize the local businesses in College Park, most especially throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. While on the board, College Park received a beautiful arena and initiated and working toward the completion of the development we call 6 West. By all accounts, will be one of the premier development in Georgia south of I-20. Last but not least, the BIDA attorney, Mr. Dan Lee, was appointed during my tenure. I'm excited to look toward the future of the possibility of serving on the council of the city. Therefore, the need for my resignation from BIDA is imminent. I appreciate the opportunity I have been given by serving on BIDA and have enjoyed working with each and every one of the members over the years. Please accept my resignation and support my efforts to continue serving the great city of College Park. Sincerely, Eleanor Cornelius, BIDA Board Member, Ward 4.
Thank you, Eleanor, for sharing that with us. And we do understand that your letter will actually have to go to the mayor and council. But it has been a pleasure. I came on BIDA when you were chair for the second time, and it's been just a blessing working with you. Learned so much from you, and still consider myself a little under your tutelage. So just wishing you the best, and
thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you, Jamel.
Okay, so at this time we're going to move on to our GICC economic development report. First the GICC report, and then we'll go into economic development. GICC, Denise.
Hi, good evening. For the month of July, the GICC hosted Hosea House Back to School 2021. We also hosted the Black Beauty Expo, and also we hosted the 2021 citywide Back to School Drive Up resource in our parking lot, which was a great success. At the Gateway Center Arena, we had one home game for the Atlanta Dream, and they are on Olympic break until August 21st. They will be coming back to the arena on that date for another home game. And also for the College Park Golf Course, we have a new golf course manager that will be starting on Monday. Are there any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I just have to make the comment. I want to thank you, Denise, and your team at the GICC. You guys rock. And I've been just bragging about the hospitality with a capital H. We really have a wonderful team, the staff at the GICC, and it's just great to see things picking up for us, even in the midst of this uncertainty that we're dealing with in the pandemic. But thank you again.
Thank you all.
Anyone else have any questions or comments for Denise? Okay, Artie is ready. Okay, so let's go on to our economic development reports.
All righty, good evening again, everyone. I'll be giving the report for the Maine and Virginia Business District. As you can see by the first slide, we had 5 new business licenses given out for the month of July, and they're all listed there. And then we still have a couple of things in the works. ATL, I have them listed at first. Tentative, they were opening in August. They're having an event in August, but they're officially opening on Labor Day. So be on the lookout for them. They're the new tapas restaurant on College Street. And then we have 3841 Main Street, formerly the feed store, Mint Dentistry, will be opening up late September, possibly early October. I did reach out. They do accept the city's dental insurance. So we had several employees excited about that. So looking forward to them opening, and we will be planning a ribbon cutting celebration for them as well. 3727 Main Street, Milk and Cheese. They still have a tentative plan for this month. So I'm looking forward to them opening. As a reminder, they're the new business that's going in the corner right on Harvard and Main in the Yo-Yo Farrell building. That will complete that entire building once they open up. And then 3569 Main Street, formerly Lunch on Main. When I created this slide, they were tentatively opening, and they are open and running full steam. We will be having a ribbon cutting ceremony for them on the 24th of August at 5 p.m. But they are over the moon excited about how much support they've received from city staff, the community, everyone at large, just supporting this new business. So thank you all there. So as you may be aware, we have a parklet on Main Street now. We had a couple of great volunteer days. It was a large undertaking, more than we expected, but the parklet has been installed. It is not completely functional as of yet. We had the inspector from GDOT give us some more directive to what needed to be completed. The two corner sections that meet at the bump outs need to be completely enclosed, and we're having that piece fabricated at this time. It's tentatively being installed on Sunday, this Sunday, and then once the inspector, I make that appointment with the GDOT inspector, and we get that green light, then we're planning to open it up. We're going to do like a soft opening for the businesses so that their staff can get accustomed to waiting on the tables out there as well. So we'll have a downsized number of tables out at first, and then transition it to the larger, the full set of tables and chairs. We're looking at September 10th for ribbon cutting for this venture, and more information will come for that. But just want to say publicly thank you again to all the volunteers and the Main Street Board to make this come to fruition, as well as the community that supported financially, mayor and council for supporting us with this idea. And it's going to be a great thing for the downtown area. And so also on Main Street, we're working on a mural. I know if you've driven by, you've seen the progress that the muralist has made. But as the Main Street Board, we had two volunteer days, two great volunteer days. The first initial day, we painted the primer, and I had slated from 8 until noon, and we had so many volunteers show up. We were done before 2 hours worth of time. And so that was a great evolution. And then the next volunteer day, we actually painted 2 portions of color on the bookends of the mural where the muralist is painting, and we had a large turnout as well. And we knocked that out in record time again. And ever since we had these 2 projects, as well as the parklets, I've been getting so many emails of people wanting to volunteer. So trying to find more work for people to do. But that's just a great showing that people want to be a part of the community and, you know, the great things that we're doing. So really, really happy for that. It's looking like mid to late September, he should be finished. Weather permitting, we've had some rainy days, so that kind of slowed him down a little bit. But once the muralist finishes his section, as well as the white, if you can see in that bottom center picture, the white areas, he's going to do the trim in all those areas. Then we'll have one last volunteer day of putting the sealant on the wall for the areas that the volunteers did, and the muralist will take care of his section. And we'll have a completed mural, and so excited about that. So, and we'll also have a little celebration once it's all completed. Next slide. If you've noticed, on Main and Virginia Avenue, we've installed some clever signage to try to help combat the trash issue that we've been having. And I must say that coupled with our excellent public works staff who've been attending the Main Street and Virginia Avenue area on the weekdays and the weekend, things are starting to look a lot better. We're going in the right direction, and I'm hoping that this new plan keeps us going in that right trajectory. We have been doing some litter initiative campaign, well, a litter campaign, taking some photos and doing some social media posts and stuff like that. And so just want to keep it on everybody's mind that we're not a trashy place. We have a beautiful city, and we want to keep it that way. Next slide. Business spotlight for this month is TKST, Thomas Kennedy Sampson and Thompson LLP, and it's a law firm that I'm proud to say has been on Main Street for 50 years this year, and that's why I chose them. They will be celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, and I just wanted to give them a hand clap and saying congratulations and thank you for sticking with us for the long haul, and very proud of them. So, next slide. And also another long-standing business, Club E, celebrated their 8-year anniversary this month, the month of July, and both Artie, I, and Councilman Allen were in attendance. And we also celebrated Bob's birthday on that day. It wasn't that day specifically, but we did. It was a great celebration, and we welcomed some of the new businesses in Club E as well. So. It was great to have them as a continued business as well on Main Street. And just some last updates. The Main Street Board meeting, the next meeting will be September 8th at 3 p.m. We're still going virtual. The board decided to stay that way for a little bit longer. And like I said, the completion of the parklet is pending our GDOT inspection. Hopefully that happens next week. And once that happens, we will be looking forward to that ribbon cutting. So if there are no questions, that's the end of my report.
Well, thank you, Renee. Thank you for, it's been real busy, and thanks for keeping us all informed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All righty. Our South Side report. Tosh, is that Tosh? Tasha, that's you, right?
Yes, it's me. So these are the new businesses in July for the South Side and corridors. We have a ribbon cutting coming up this weekend. And thank you for Mayor Pro Tem Taylor for agreeing to help support one of the businesses. It actually is a ribbon cutting for a health and wellness cafe located at the new Discount Mall off of Old National. So we are looking forward to having some healthy alternatives in the corridor. And it's this Saturday from 1 to 9. As far as for the South Side, I just wanted to give an update of work to date. Currently through this month, from July 5th until now, I have been doing a community needs assessment just to assess what the ongoing issues are so that they can be effectively and efficiently addressed within the corridor. I've also met with the new Old National Main Street manager who was recently employed with City of South Fulton. We've met and have discussed meeting on a monthly basis so that we can both be up to date for which developments are going along as Old National continues to develop. We have postponed apartment suites at the moment. Once again, we were doing a community needs assessment and just really looking at the impact of those and also seeing where there are some more collaborative efforts that can take place during the apartment suites. I've also looked at standardization of the code compliance enforcement, and that is something that I actually will be presenting for mayor and council during the first meeting in September. So I'll provide more in-depth information then. One thing I also wanted to commend Councilman Clay and Councilman Allen was participating in the noise study for proposed expansion of 2380 Godby Road. I would also like to commend our city planner, Nikki Washington, who was concerned that the noise would impact the surrounding community. And I just wanted to let that be known that the city is really going above and beyond to make sure that we have a city that is viable for all. Next slide. I wanted to provide an update for the comprehensive plan. As far as there was a final meeting held for the Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee, and they will be reviewing the draft before mayor and council on this upcoming Monday during the council meeting. I also wanted to mention the equitable or civic dinners. This was actually proposed by Mayor Motley Broom. And through those discussions, we were looking at hosting a civic dinner, but we luckily were included in a grant provided to a local organization called Out of Hand. And we will be scheduling as far as upcoming civic dinners for the city of College Park. Also, we participated within the Willingham LCI's tour and stakeholder meeting. So during the tour, basically City of East Point, along with the Aerotropolis, are collaborating as well as Hateville and College Park to do the Willingham LCI for the corridor. During the tour, we went from starting at Arden's Garden all the way down Willingham and saw the different varieties of zoning as far as usages and amenities in the corridor. From there, we compiled the information and presented it during the stakeholders meeting. There is more information available online as we would like to get more insight. And if you would like to, as far as take part in that committee, our board member, Leslie Zien, was participating on behalf of East Point. But if you would like to participate, please let me know. I also wanted to bring more information as far as an update for finding the Flint. We were previously awarded the multi-use, multi-purpose grant through the Brownsfield. And through that, we were able to do a staff kickoff of the project, as well as 2 charrettes, one for Horizon, which is a summer camp offered through Woodward Academy. We were also able to do a community charrette where members of the community, we actually had our board member, Anita, come and participate, and it was really great to be able to give the opportunity for staff, the children, as well as the community to be able to see this site firsthand. Councilman Allen actually came out and attended with us, and be able to get their ideas for what they foresee for the future of the project. There was also a working group provided afterward where the information was compiled and provided to the Finding the Flint collaborative team, as well as community stakeholders during the happy hour at Arches, which is located in Hateville. Currently, we are doing an update to the phase 1 of that property. It just needed to be updated due to the time that had elapsed since the original update, but that has already been completed. And then we also have been working on providing tours and more marketing for the Flint River project to help to just really educate individuals, but also provide opportunity for sponsorship. An opportunity that I was able to take part in today was a tour of the lower Flint waters. We actually traveled to Thompson, Georgia this morning, and we took kayaks and did a 5-mile paddle down the river. It was a very life-changing experience in some ways to be able to see how that little stream that starts in the headwaters of College, well, in East Point and flows in daylights in College Park is able to expand to a river of about 150 to 200 feet in some points. And from that experience, I actually wanted to open up the opportunity on September the 10th for our board and mayor and council to join and experience that as well. So I will be forwarding an invite if you all would like to paddle the Flint River. The next big project we have as related to the Flint is our application for the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Award. So this is a grant. I don't know if you all may remember a couple of elections back, there was an opportunity to increase taxes, or for taxes that are spent for outdoor awards to be placed into a fund that is used specifically for outdoor stewardship. Through these funds, those taxes have been actually placed to assist with the expansion of recreation and outdoor activities within the state of Georgia. So we are seeking some of those to help provide an outdoor and nature outlet right here in the Tri-Cities and city of College Park. So that application is due in October, and we look forward to have submitting a great application and getting some great feedback. So does anyone have any questions or any comments in regard to the information provided? Okay, it was a lot, so I want to give an opportunity before I continue. So next slide. Okay, so I wanted to also just show some photographs. The top picture is a picture of myself with our team members from Pond and Company, as well as Cardno during the charrette for Horizons Summer Camp at Woodward Academy. We also, in the center, have a photograph of some of the community members during the charrette. And to the right, one of my favorite photos is Councilman Allen's neighbor, who was able to go and pick blackberries during the charrette, fresh from the property. Next slide. All right, so upcoming, we do have the board meeting for the Atlanta Aerotropolis CID. As far as the Old National Merchants Association has returned to in-person meetings on the last Thursday at Central Station. The meetings do begin at 8 a.m. Due to COVID, I am not sure if they're going to continue with in-person or if they will be going back to virtual meetings, but I will keep you updated as far as if there is a change. All right, are there any questions? All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, Tasha. Tasha, you've been really, really busy. And Tasha, now, haven't you also taken on the leadership of code enforcement since our last meeting as well?
Yes, I have. So I'm going to present. I didn't want to place that information with the BIDA board. I wanted to be able to present that information to mayor and council first.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Tasha. Okay, our director's report.
Yes, for the director's report, I'd like to update everyone. The RFP, the request for proposals for the Road Street construction is out on the street right now. The deadline for us to receive those bids is September 1st. That's the construction of Road Street from Camp Creek Parkway all the way up to Red Wine, where the residential development of Southeast Capitol will be located. Wi-Fi cameras and counters are being installed on Main Street from Vesta all the way to 3907 Main Street. Now, individuals, as they are walking down the street in College Park, there's free Wi-Fi available. It's just a matter of them, I guess, linking up to it. Also, we're putting additional cameras in so that we can monitor the area around trash receptacles, around the really busy areas around the city. And then, of course, we're going to have counters also to figure out how many people are in downtown College Park so that we can strategically be able to schedule individuals as far as police, trash pickup, and others to be in those locations during the busier times. The land disturbance permit has been secured for the True and the Home 2 Suites development. These particular hotels will be located beside the Spring Hill Suites. They've been doing some work over there. They've been taking out a lot of dirt in that particular area, getting ready to put utilities in that particular area. And be on the lookout via email real soon. The groundbreaking will be taking place and everyone will be invited. The Aloft and the Residence Inn, those are two hotels. That particular project is located behind the BMW technical training facility behind SkyTrain Way. And they are really close to getting their land disturbance permit also to start construction. With this particular project, we're trying to work out one particular issue. A portion of the parking lot for the development is under SkyTrain Way. And we are trying to get clearance from the City of Atlanta Department of Aviation to be able to have cars to be able to park in that particular area. If not, we're going to have a redesign of the parking area. But that's good to hear that those projects are moving forward. And the only reason that both of these projects, the Home 2 Suites and the True, as well as the Aloft and the Residence Inn, didn't move forward was because of COVID. And then the old Sheraton, located, I think, almost at the end of the fourth runway at Hartsfield Jackson. They're about to implode the hotel. They've already removed the parking deck that was right beside it, and they're going to employ the Sheraton Hotel on September 5th at 7:30 a.m. And of course, all the businesses in that particular area will be getting notification of this particular action that's taking place that the City of Atlanta is actually facilitating. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Artie, I have one, and that is when we get these last hotels that are on your slide completed, what will the hotel count be in the city? I know we always say it's over 35, and was guessing it is currently about 38, 39, but what do you think it'll be?
Well, it's according, if you look at these dual brand hotels, is it 2 hotels or is it 1 hotel? I'm calling it 2 hotels if it's a true and it's a Residence Inn.
Right, right.
So with these 4 additional hotels and us already having 36 hotels, we would be at 40 hotels. And I think that probably pound for pound or per square miles, we probably have the most hotels out of any city in Georgia, because we're only 11.1 square miles, yet at the same time we have so many hotels. The great thing about both of these hotels is that the Aloft and the Residence Inn will have a full service restaurant also, and they'll have 5,000 square feet of additional retail. And the True and the Home 2 Suites, they're supposed to have a coffee shop, a full blown coffee shop, and I guess light snacks. But I think at that time we will have as many hotels as we're going to have at the Gateway Center at that particular time. The only other property that we have available at the Gateway Center that hasn't been sold, that's developable, unless we're planning on developing on parking lot, is the 2 acres located at the intersection of Camp Creek Parkway and Airport Drive, across the street from Racetrack Gas Station. You're welcome. Are there any additional questions? Madam Chair?
Yes.
There's one particular item that was omitted. I sent an email out to the entire BIDA board on, I think, Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. It was an additional agenda item. As the BIDA board remembers, we went into a real lengthy discussion. The City of College Park is refinancing a lot of BIDA debt, and we have already taken care of 3 of the 4 items as far as getting the necessary approvals. This one particular item is, there's one additional item that I would like to request that it be added to other issues under item D as in duck. And I think that you'll have to have a motion, I guess, to add that in a second and approval. But I apologize. I had that buried underneath all my other paperwork.
Yeah, I don't know how that got over past us. But at this time, we'd like to entertain a motion to add our Series E bonds, which would need to be voted by mayor and council as well as BIDA, to other issues. It would be item D.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Vice Chair. We need a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you very much. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, let's move on. That has been added as item D for our other issues. Are there any? Okay, so we don't have any other questions for Ari. Okay, so we'll continue with our meeting now. Other issues. The letter A is BIDA City Council discussion on the stipend for BIDA board members moving forward. As many of you that were present recall, at our last BIDA meeting, we had a discussion on the legality of the BIDA stipends, and it was clarified that it is definitely legal for our BIDA members to receive a stipend. At that meeting, I also shared with the members of the board that at our March 14th, 2019 BIDA meeting, we actually had a discussion on BIDA stipends. At that time, the BIDA stipend was $50 per meeting. And it was brought up by our mayor pro tem, that we increased the BIDA board member stipend $25, so from $50 to $75. And that was actually implemented in 2019. All the BIDA board members received a stipend from the time of that meeting of $75 per meeting. I guess in 2020, there was some miscommunication and the stipend. And I also think that what was happening, we didn't understand how our BIDA board can determine things for the board. So there was never a vote. We thought that it had to be voted on by the mayor and council. And because it had not been voted on by mayor and council for the increase in 2020, that was removed, and it was removed down to not a per meeting stipend, but a monthly stipend. BIDA, the board had nothing to do with that. So today, since there's not any kind of definition about what the BIDA board member stipends should be, we need to, as a constitutional authority, determine what our stipend should be. As we've seen recently, there was some concern with the Fulton County Development Authority, and that has been resolved. Their board now, that authority is receiving a stipend of $150 per day. So that means if they have 30 meetings and 30 days of meetings in a month, they get 30 stipends. The MARTA board receives a stipend of $130 per day. So our board, this is just my discussion, and of course this is open for discussion, this issue. Our city, we may be a small city in terms of square miles, but we have quite an extensive amount of projects going on and in the wind, for the next few years and right now. And so I think that this is important for us to decide what we want the stipend to, what we want to fix it at. And I definitely just want to voice that I think that the stipend should be what it was in 2019, which was a per day or per meeting. And I say that as a chair because with having to have so many different special call meetings, the incentive to even have members come out on dates that they had never planned to be at meetings for all the special call meetings, that they should be compensated for that. It's quite a lot of information. I mean, just in the last few weeks alone, we've had quite a few situations that have required our attention. So I'd like to just have a discussion amongst our board members, and while City Council is present as well. Before that, Dan, would you clarify, is a stipend for the board members for the BIDA board, its authority, can this be determined by the authority itself, or is this something that must be voted on by the mayor and council?
The BIDA, being a constitutional authority, has the authority to spend money, and there's no bar to paying a stipend to itself, to the members.
So basically, this is something that, meaning 2019, we just weren't aware of that. And the reason why that stipend was not implemented was because we thought it had to go before the mayor and council. So basically, this is something that we could determine at this meeting would be the stipend for this authority.
The research we've done, the history of the current stipend is unclear to me. It's apparent that it's paid by the mayor and council, by the city proper, and whether you should or not is a policy decision that you all should make. And I would add to my discussion that there are different levels of authorization. You have constitutional authority, you have statutory authority, you have policies, and you have standards and practices. There's no question, but because you're a constitutional authority, you have some autonomy to do things that a non-constitutional authority couldn't do. The state granted you a charter pursuant to a resolution passed by the mayor and council. There is not a policy with the BIDA board dealing with a stipend because you haven't been paying yourself one. But I would submit to you, Madam Chair, that the standard and practice has been that issues related to BIDA many times, most of the time, are either presented or addressed to mayor and council as a cooperative effort by both bodies, evidenced by the fact that you're in a joint meeting. So with that caveat, I would be quiet.
Yeah, and that's another reason we wanted to bring it up during a joint meeting with mayor and council, because again, I think the last time we thought that it was something that had to be brought to a city council meeting, whereas this can be discussed amongst the board members and the mayor and council now. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about you know, what we want to do going forward with regarding the stipend.
Let me ask a question, Dan, because I want to make sure I heard this right. On one hand, we're saying that BIDA has the ability to create its own policy, but are you saying that as a virtue of integrity that we take this before mayor and council, or are we saying both, that we can determine this and then we just present it to them? Or are we saying that they have to vote on that based on what we say we want?
I'm not saying they have to vote on it. I'm just reminding the board that historically, as a standard and practice, matters that are affecting of the city are usually discussed with mayor and council. As the chair lady just said, you're sitting there with the city council tonight, so you kind of crossed that T and dotted that I by having them present. But it is the ability, the BIDA board has the ability to spend money, and has the ability, therefore the ability to pay itself a stipend.
And then to move forward, if we wanted to present this as a policy, to put this in our bylaws or something, do we make a policy, or is this just open end? Because right now, the problem, the reason why this is a discussion is because it's been open-ended, and it seems that this has not been a discussion until we were facing 2020 and COVID cuts, and then it was an actual cut saying that, oh, we're going to cut the budget and this, that, and the other. And though we understand, because everybody took a hit, we're just trying to make sure that at this particular meeting and in this discussion, what is said or what could possibly be voted on is not something that can ultimately be reversed in some kind of degree or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't, there may be something to that, but I would submit to you, and this is just, to me, an observation, and I hope some common sense. When you're on albeit a constitutional authority like you are, you're appointed by somebody.
Right.
And just as a matter of, I won't say courtesy, but just as a matter of community discussion, the person by whom you were appointed has some stake in what you do. Right. And I've been appointed to things before. I've been elected and been in a group that appointed somebody, and you just like to think, I believe unwritten, it's not a policy, it's not a rule, that it matters to you what that person that appointed you thinks about something, or the body that person sits on thinks about something, especially, and I think this is the elephant in the room, especially on a topic that is of such controversy politically right now. Mm-hmm. And it is in just our backyard with the Fulton County discussion. So to say that mayor council don't have any say so is, I don't think, accurate. It's not codified. It's not mandatory someplace, but I would submit to you that as a standard and practice in College Park, mayor and council have been abreast of changes and decisions made by BIDA that could be affecting of the city. And that's the point I would make about it. And again, that's covered because you're sitting there talking to the mayor and council about it right now.
Yeah,
Madam
let
Chair,
me, okay, Eleanor, go ahead.
I would like to hear from Councilman Ambrose, Councilman Allen, and Councilman Taylor regarding the stipend for the BIDA board members. I'd like to hear from them. What are their thoughts?
Well, I'll start off if you want me to. I don't see a problem with getting a stipend. I think, people doing work on their own time, you deserve that, But I do want to make sure that we right. I don't want to get in no trouble later. So if everything on the up and up how we've been doing it, I agree that you guys deserve, the stipend or whatever you want to call it. But I want to make sure that we clear that we all know that nobody not gonna get in trouble for doing this. If we clear, I'm 100% on board with you get the stipend.
I think that one of the things we've tried to do on council is maintain some consistency between the various advisory planning commission, BZA, and so forth. And I think we've done that at this point. However, I also think that just from having been on Vita a number of times and always still reading all the material that Vita gets, the volume, the dollar value of the decisions that are being made by Vita is higher and is more impactful than the other boards and so forth within the city. So based on that, I would think that Vita should have a higher stipend. But frankly, in College Park, with the community that we have and the participation that we have and the such a good representation of all the citizens, that it shouldn't be significantly higher than what we're giving to the other boards. So from my standpoint, I think the other boards are getting $50 a meeting, if I remember rightly. And I think it should be by meeting because as Madam Chair said, the having surprise meetings, having special called meetings, having to get your act together because someone's been late with a proposal or what have you, puts an additional drain. So I think it should be by meeting in the case of Vita. I think it's not by month. And I think it should be more than what the other organizations, the other boards are making by meeting. So I don't know if I had to throw out a number. Madam Chair talked about, well, back in 2019, it was $75 the board had decided. I think certainly $75 is quite reasonable. I would even think $100 might be reasonable. But for the reasons that Dan mentioned about the notorious political issues that are being made currently about other boards of this nature, good old College Park with 11 square miles, despite all the things we're doing, we ought to be restrained in what we do. That's my 2 cents. You're not, you're muted, Ken.
I agree the amount of time that the Vita board people put in reviewing documents, reviewing the negotiations, reviewing the bonds, looking at numbers, to me is more than other boards. I was on the DMO board, and the DMO board received a stipend. The hotels decided they were not going to spend their stipend, so they never spent it. And the DMO board decided to do away with the stipend. But the board that you have, the time that you put in, I don't have a problem with the stipend. I think it's good that we talk about this between the two, but I think we need to set a standard and say, in the future, we need to, it either gets decided by the city and council or it gets decided by Vita. And I don't have a problem either way because we're at most of the meetings anyway. But I believe we ought to have that on record so that when it comes up, and I agree with Councilman Taylor, we just don't want to get into this political mess that some of the other places have gotten into. As far as the siphon, $50, $75, either one would be fine with me.
Okay, and again, I'm hearing what everybody's saying. Even if we look at this discussion as being any discussion of stipends would always be done during a joint meeting, a joint BIDA meeting with mayor and council and the BIDA board. So this way we can, discuss as we're discussing. What happened in 2019, I actually have the minutes in front of me. Mayor Pro Tem Wyatt discussed evaluating an increase to Development Authority board member stipend. And when asked, the Mayor Pro Tem Wyatt suggested an increase of $25 per member and an additional $25 increase for the chair. Mayor Longino proposed to discuss increase of all city board member stipends during the budget hearing. And so what happened is it never made it. It never made it to, and then it became something for all, and maybe what also may have stifled it, it was because it was going to be a discussion for increasing all city boards. And I think what we're saying that this board is a little different, the requirements, and it's so important. It's imperative that we have the quorums when we have the meeting so that our members are here. But it's also important that our members read all of this, the packet, and really come prepared, because we're making decisions that we totally need to be informed about. So it's not the kind of thing you can just roll up on Thursday afternoon and just peruse over. You really need to, and I'm saying this to BIDA board members, read over the information as soon as you get that packet. If you have questions, call the executive director, Artie Jones. Call your council person. Discuss these things over, because it's important. It's important. So I'm kind of hearing. So where do we want to go? Would like to hear some more from even our board members. I've heard Demetrius.
Madam Chair, if I may, because the reason why I'm stressing this, and I want to make sure that this is on record, and I don't want it to come across as if we're trying to arbitrarily omit mayor and council, because that's what I'm hearing, that the whole discussion, to make sure council know, is suggesting that BIDA is trying to do something covert or whatever. But I'm sure that that's because of the negative things that we're seeing with Fulton County. The reason why this is why this is uncomfortable and why this is a hot topic is because they have been unscrupulous in their behavior and they have abused the power. Okay, and so here, this is not what College Park is trying to do. So I want to make that perfectly clear so that the citizens who are watching this understand that there's nothing covert about this, and that we want to make sure that we are on the table, because everything that we do is transparent here. Also, I want to make sure that we understand this. Here, as on this board, we inadvertently are employees of the city. Because I'm a BIDA board member, and then I'm an officer, my conduct and everything about me has to be stellar. I cannot go anywhere. Even in my personal time, I'm an entertainer. So I have to make sure that my conduct is integral, and that my dignity and everything is outstanding and is above reproach, because I'm representing College Park. Now, that may seem like a lot, or it may seem trivial to some people, but because of the nature that we are in, we just had a couple, all of 2020 with former board member Paxton, his disagreement because he thought something was unscrupulous going on, and we had a bunch of allegations, and then the citizens became irate about it. That's the kind of scrutiny that we are under in dealing with these kind of contracts with all this confidential information. Do you know what it takes to have to shred this information when we're done throwing this away? This is a lot of responsibility that we are on and that we are facing. So anyone who wants to challenge this or wonder why we're challenging this, this is why this is, because we are up under a lot of scrutiny. But nothing, and I stress nothing, is done covertly to where nobody understands what is going on. Everything that we do here will be done before all the powers that be, so that everyone is on the same page. Because as long as I'm here, my mission is to make sure that we are transparent, because I'm not the voice of the people, I am the people. And I am not an elected official, I am selected by an elected. Okay, so you said you elected the person, the council person selected me as a representative of the body. So nothing here is going as a covert operation. I want to stress that, so that anyone who has any kind of doubt, any kind of thing thinking that we're doing something dastardly, please remove that from your frame of thinking.
Madam Chair, with that being said, I think we should move for $75 and it be retroactive.
Retroactive to 2020 or January, because are we going back up? So it's basically to January of 2021, this year, not back to the year that we missed. Okay.
No, just 2021.
2021. Okay. So does somebody, well, I guess we'll start with our board members. Someone want to second that?
I can second that. I'll second Madam Cornelius.
Okay, board members that are in favor, please say, let us hear you this time. Mayor Motley Broom, did you have something? Were you unready? Or, oh, okay, I thought she was getting ready. Okay, those that are in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, any board members opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, but all other, the six, so the mayor opposed, but the six board members, other board members said yay. Okay, thank you. The ayes have it. So this is what our authority would like to. This is what we have determined we want. So, Mayor and Council. Mr. Selby.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Marty. Yeah, I don't know where. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question for clarification. Is this per meeting?
Per meeting.
Okay, $75. Okay.
Per meeting, and we'll have that reflected in the minutes. And I don't know. I can't call on a vote from mayor and council. I already kind of think I know where mayor is, but our three councilmen are you all in agree? I guess you all are in agreement with the stipend because you voiced that.
Madam Chair.
I
Madam
don't
Chair.
believe we.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. First of all, I don't vote on mayor and council.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
And
well, unless it's a tiebreaker, you can tie break. So it was two of them.
Well, we've got three, so I don't think that's
okay. So
I don't think it's appropriate based on what we've heard legally for mayor and council to vote on it. I think it is a BIDA decision, but we offer our affirmation through our representatives on BIDA.
Thank you.
We put our 2 cents in, and I think all three of us basically were good with the general range of things. I don't know, Councilmember Allen or Taylor, do you have anything you want to?
Well, I agree.
The only thing I'd like to say is what if BIDA, what if they decided to say, okay, we want to pay ourselves $5,000 a meeting?
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying, it's out there and we don't.
Ridiculous.
I know I wasn't asked, I wasn't called on this one, but I did want the opportunity to share my thoughts. Number one, I think that taking into account that through investigation, the only two development authorities that have received any income, being us in Fulton County, was one of the things that concerned me as we move forward, that it put us out of step with the norm. And I understand that our city is different and we do things differently, and we are a constitutional authority, and most development authorities in the state of Georgia are regulated by statute. And I understand that difference. but it is not one that is, it is not a difference that is necessarily perceived by everyone. And I certainly respect the decision of the body to move forward with the $75 per meeting stipend. Because of budgetary reasons and the fact that we are already closing out fiscal year 2021, I think it adds to complications to make that retroactive. And that was the thrust of the no vote on that. But I think I've shared with all of you that it will be not my decision not to take a payment for the service to this board. I certainly respect everyone's willingness to serve on this board, no matter what the payment is. And I appreciate everyone's service to the community, especially you, Ms. Cornelius, as you step down. We really do appreciate all the service that you have given.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, and back to Councilman Allen. That's why my suggestion was, just for the sake of the minutes, is that any decision, anytime the BIDA board wanted to discuss stipends, that this should be handled in a joint meeting. And as Demetrius, our vice chair, has said, you are the elected officials. We have been selected. And so it is very important, even though this may be something the authority can determine, we are still working hand in hand with the persons who put us here. So, respectfully speaking, it's never going to be what mayor and council says it can't be. So, well, we're not trying to go there.
Madam Chair, I'd like to ask a legal question then from both of our attorneys that are on. And that is, although BIDA has the constitutional authority to do this, is there any way that mayor and council can somehow inject a ceiling on that? Or, for example, of course, mayor and council are salaried. I think everybody knows that. But we can't raise a salary within the time frame of our term of office. And I can't remember the technical details. Winston maybe can help me out on that, but you have to wait until till the council changes. So if one were to enact something now, for council, since the election is coming up in the fall, it couldn't take place until the beginning of next year. But if it were last year, I believe it couldn't take place still until the beginning of this next year, 2022. I could be wrong on that, been wrong before. And is there some way that that you can prevent a maverick BIDA board from deciding they want to get $5,000 a meeting? That's a question for the attorneys.
The charter, just like with the city, and when Winston's represented a lot of cities, as I have, the charter of the city, just like the charter of BIDA, would control it, and the charter for BIDA does not speak to it as it does with the city. And that's generally the provision you speak of, in that a council cannot up its own salary. It must first apply to its successor. Is in a lot of charters for a good reason. I mean, you can see the reasoning for it. As an example, the state legislature can raise its salary of sitting members. But the way to answer your question is to change the charter, to limit the ability to do it at all, or to regulate the number.
Well, where I understand where the mayor is coming from, particularly in that our BIDAs are different. But I feel that why should BIDA get less, or less means zero, for example, when we are paying our planning commission, our BZA, our Main Street board, that are critical to the city, no question about that. But they don't handle the dollar volume that BIDA has, and they don't typically handle the complexity of the documents that BIDA has. So in my mind, for BIDA to get nothing, where the other boards in the city get $50 a meeting, it just makes no sense to me. And I could argue, well, give them the same. But I do feel it's an acknowledgement of the additional workload that I believe BIDA, I mean, I've been there. I believe that BIDA has. So it's a matter of educating the public. Yes, we're different. Our charter is different. Our city is definitely different. For the small number of people we have an arena, we have a city-owned convention center, we have a golf course, all in 11.1 square miles. And I think our boards work hard, and I think BIDA works harder, and I think they should be rewarded. But somehow, maybe we should change the charter. Maybe we should say that the ceiling has to be approved by mayor and council. We could do that. I think it's more of a public relations issue, considering the scandal that's going on right now, than anything else. The people that know us know what's going on in the city, but it's very easy for somebody in some other random city, I won't name any names because I'll get in trouble, within the metro area to take a pot shot at us. Well, okay, I'm willing to take, I'll absorb that pot shot. You can blame, I'll share in the blame. But anyhow, that's my feeling. Sorry for going on and on.
Okay,
Madam Chair, I'd like to make one comment and I'm going to move.
I'm moving on after your comment. Okay, yes, ma'am.
I believe that the board members we have here would be on this board regardless to whether they receive a stipend or not. It's because they're dedicated to the community here. Therefore, saying that, you don't have to set a ceiling. I mean, we are citizens of College Park. We love this city, and we do things here because we want to do it, not that because we're getting paid. So any person thinking that we come up with $5,000, no, I do not believe that. I don't believe.
No, I don't either. I just do that.
I know, but I'm just saying, we could have said $100. We said $75. So let's move on and do the business for College Park.
And thank you, Eleanor. And that's basically what we've just done. We just established what we said 2019, but now we have it solidified. So that's all we really have done tonight. And now we have a procedure for how we're going to move forward.
Thank you.
Let's move on to item B. The Georgia Economic Development Association Annual Conference is actually happening this year, and it's going to be in person. And it's in Savannah. So Artie, you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the event is going to take place on Wednesday, September 15th to Friday, September 17th in Savannah, Georgia. I've provided for everyone a rundown of the associated costs for the event. I believe that all of the BIDA board members are considered to be, I guess, non-members, but I'm a member of GEDA, Georgia Economic Development Association. It's $405 for non-members to attend the conference in person. If you attend virtually, it's $152 each. The hotel where the conference will actually be happening is at the Hyatt Regency, but there's probably somewhere between 6 and 7 hotels that's actually will be available for GEDA attendees. I have the average amount of how much those costs are also. And then, of course, there's travel and per diem that the BIDA board members are entitled to also if you travel. One thing, if you look at the end of your agenda, you'll see that virtual participation will be about $152 each. In-person participation will be about anywhere between $1,500 and $1,900 a piece. And that's all dependent upon the type of travel. If you drive, if you rent a car, or if you fly, that's the order of, I guess, the expense. So if anyone is interested in attending GIDA conference, please shoot myself and Sabritha an email that you are interested in attending so that we can go ahead and try to make the necessary arrangements. If you can remember last month when you guys asked if they were having GIDA conference in person, we didn't know at that time because they had not told us. But whenever they finally opened it up, things fill up really quickly. And we want to try to, if you're going to be going in person, we would try to get you in at the Hyatt where the conferences actually happen. But if not there, there's the Marriott and there's other hotels in the area to accommodate you. I also provided everyone with an agenda of what would be going on throughout the conference from the 15th through the 17th. And I'm here to address any questions that you might have. I just wanted to put it out there to the BIDA board to make them aware that the conference is going on. I will not be attending conference. I don't normally go to the GIDA conference. But like I said, it is available. It is open to the BIDA board members.
So I guess I'll be excluded this time, right, Artie?
I would think so if you're going to be moving in the direction that you've kind of shared with us. So.
Okay.
You'll be too busy during that time. I definitely want to encourage everybody, if you've never gone, go. All of our new board members, it's a great opportunity. If you can't actually be there in person, do the virtual.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a lot of good information. We haven't had our retreat, which is next on our agenda, but that would actually, have you get a chance to see what other development authorities are doing throughout the state. And it's a good time for us. Many of us have not even been able to share a meal together because we haven't had our in-person meetings. I think it's a great opportunity for board members that are able to get together. And we're not going to be having meetings, but just to be able to get some training and some networking. So Artie, just reach out to Artie and Sabritha and as soon as possible, because the actual meeting is less than 32 days away.
Right.
Maybe it's exactly 33 days away. There's about 33 days away. Okay. The next item on our agenda C is our Clearly College Park Strategic Planning Retreat, and we'll turn it back over to Artie.
Okay. I guess over the last 4 weeks, I have been trying to, find a date that would work for the entire BIDA board to participate in an annual retreat. We have not had an annual retreat for some time, and it's a way for us to kind of not feel rushed to get into a meeting, to learn something new and to discuss the direction of the BIDA board moving forward, as well as, looking into researching and learning something new that would be helpful to the BIDA board. I feel that at a minimum that we need to have the BIDA board members who are serving their first year with BIDA to be in attendance. And what has happened is that there's always been one BIDA board member that has not been able, that the schedule didn't work for them. And we have, like I said, adjusted it, and I put it out on 2 occasions. We've already looked at, I think, about 7 or 8 different dates, and it didn't work for, like I said, all of the new BIDA board members. If one of the older BIDA board members that have been on the board for a while couldn't go, then it would not be as much of an issue, but I feel that it would be very advantageous for the new BIDA board members to participate. So what I've communicated with the Madam Chair is that you guys collectively at this meeting identify one date where you could spend 6 hours. And I was thinking of either starting at 10 o'clock in the morning and going until 4, or 11 o'clock in the morning and going until 5 o'clock. Not a Friday, We want to try to stay away from Saturday also. And just provide me with that date. And from that point, what I would do is, I also want you to entertain or to provide me with a possible list of topics, things that you might want to have addressed at this strategic planning session. That's not to say it will be addressed, but that will give me a good idea of what the BIDA board, something that they would like to learn new during this particular session. So two things, a date, and the items that you want to discuss can come later. We don't need to really get into that right now. We just need a date and a time. And if you guys aren't interested in having a strategic planning session, then let me know that also. So the ball's in you guys' court.
And Artie, you said we're going to stay away from the week from Friday to Sundays. That way we kind of want to look at Monday through Thursdays, right?
Yeah, I would say Monday through Thursdays. And like I said, Mondays are kind of tricky because you have city council meetings. So you might want to look at a Tuesday through a Thursday.
Yeah. How is everybody September 23rd right now? That's about a week after we come back from the BIDA meeting, and things will still kind of be fresh in our minds, reflection on that. But what's everybody's schedule look like? That's a Thursday, September 23rd.
I'm out of town that day.
Okay, when are you in town? Because your schedule has been the most challenging, I think.
Yeah, I'm traveling quite a bit, actually.
Give us a date when you're available right now, Leslie.
Okay.
Sometime between, when we, the end of
I could
September.
do it October 5th, 6th, or 7th.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
October
wait,
5th.
wait. No. I'm sorry. I'm out of town. Wait a minute. Let me double check. The 7th. I'm sorry. I could do the 7th.
October 7th. And I did.
After that, I'm much more open after October 7th.
But October 7th could work for you.
Yep.
Okay. How's everybody with, I had I had September 23rd, September 30th, and October 7th on my paper. So, is that enough planning for us? And it's like I said, it's 2 or 3 weeks after we, either we attend GIDA or we're virtually, or we'll have some information.
I am unavailable October 6th. I'm unavailable October 7th.
Okay, you're unavailable.
How about the 14th? Oh, that's a BIDA meeting.
Yeah,
how about the 13th? Or the 12th?
Give me one moment here.
Let's definitely try to do it by the middle of October. I think that should be like, I don't think we're getting ready. So by the middle of October.
All the days that have been listed, I'm good with.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
I'm available.
Okay. And Demetrius,
good, so.
you and I, we the old members. Everybody else has only been on this board for less than 17, 19, 18, whatever, 20 months.
I'm available October 12th.
You are? Okay, Dan, can you do October 12th?
I can.
You can, okay. So let's say October 12th, Artie?
Okay, what time?
I say the earlier the better, 10 to 4. And this is open. What's everybody, what's your pleasure, board?
That's fine.
Okay.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
And we're gonna get fed, so we will eat. So I guess you come after breakfast, but we'll have lunch.
Yeah, we'll have like I said, a light breakfast, and we'll have a working lunch.
Okay.
So we can get as much in as possible. So like I said, in between, I guess over the next week, if everyone would shoot me some emails with items that you think it would be good to address at the meeting, and then I can go ahead and get it programmed out, and then I can send the agenda out closer to the date once the Madam Chair is kind of signed off on the agenda.
Okay. All righty.
Okay.
Okay, so Letter D, that's not anything we have to vote. That's not an action item. It's just, well, I guess it is action, but we don't need to vote on the date. Okay, so letter D, we want to discuss our Series E bonds. We've pretty much talked about this. Our last special call meeting. So these, in fact, who's gonna? I'm not gonna. Don't let me mess it up. Artie or Ed want to talk to us about this, or Mr. Selby?
I'll let Ed jump on in.
So,
Okay.
Madam Chair, this is Series E bonds. It's a $1,950,000. It refinances the 2014 master land purchase where we purchased about 150 different checkerboard pieces of property. The reason for doing it is we're reimbursing the general fund $440,000 for a payment it made back in April. We're saving cash flow $450,000 each year for the next 3 years. And the debt would have paid off in 3 years, but we're going to mature it over a 10-year period to give the savings in the next 3 years, hopefully until COVID can turn around. We had done this exact same thing with the other 4 series that we had done. We just didn't have all the documents prepared by Doug because he didn't have the 2014 documents, and we couldn't get it done on the same timeline as the other 4. SunTrust has given us an interest rate of 2.98% on this. They've guaranteed the rate to September the 3rd. So if you all, Mayor and Council, and you would approve it tonight, Doug and Winston and Dan will take it into validation and we'd close it on September the 3rd.
Ed, do you have sort of like with the other bonds where you showed us what we're currently paying per year and what that will drop to with the refinancing, and then how much longer we'll be paying it off and what all the fees will be for all the people involved?
Let me see if I can find it. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Can y'all see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can see the principal amount of the bonds is $1,950,000. The use of it is $440,000 to the general fund, $1,469,000 to pay off those old 2014 bonds. The cost of issuance of $39,000. That'll go to me, to bond counsel Doug Selby, to Dan Lee, the authority attorney, Winston, Denmark, the city attorney, Smith, Gambrell, and Russell, the bank's counsel, and clerk of court in Fulton County for the validation, and the Fulton data report for the ad. And then the additional proceeds, you issue bonds in round $5,000 amounts. So that $1,555 will just go into the additional deposit to the general fund with that $440,000. This schedule here, you can see the first column are the years. You can see the next column is how the 2014 would mature now. So it's about $500,000 a year, and it would have paid off in 2024. You can see the next column is what the new debt service schedule would be on this Series E bond issue, should you approve it. And then the next column is the savings, and it's $476,000 in savings in FY22. Add to that the $440,000 that we reimbursed to the general fund, and then $450 the next year, about $450 the next year. And then the extra cost is because we're maturing it over a 10-year period. You can see the extra cost is a total of $885,000. And then we present value at today's dollars to get down here to $55,000 is the net present value. but the cost per year you can see here is in the column. And then here, you can see the old interest rate was 3.51%. We're replacing it with a new 2.98%. Was that what you're looking for, Ms. Zinn?
That was exactly. Can you go back up to the 898,000
Yes, ma'am.
number? Because I think that it's very deceiving to say in net present value, it's $55,000, because that seems like a very small amount of money, but we're actually going to be paying $885,000 plus additional money to refinance $1.5 million. That's a large amount of money. That $885,000 could be available for other things.
From 2026 out, you have the option to pay off these bonds without any prepayment penalty. And so if we were to sell land in 6 West and conserve $1 million of it, you could pay this off early in 26 and avoid all those extra costs. And you're right, Ms. N, we would not be doing this if the city didn't need the cash flow savings.
Okay, are there any other questions for Ed? All right.
Okay. Is it okay to take the screen down, Madam
Yes.
Chair?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have any questions. Okay. All righty. So this vote is Vita. At this time, we'd like to entertain a motion on the floor to authorize the chair to execute the documents for the Series E bonds.
So moved.
All right, thank you. Was that Councilman Taylor?
Second.
Oh, Demetrius. Okay, thank you. All righty. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Okay. All righty, the ayes have it, and so we will get on with the execution of these documents. Okay, at this time, we'd like to entertain a motion from Vita to move out of the general session into executive session.
Madam Chair.
Oh, you need something else? Oh,
Mayor and council have a resolution on the Series E bonds where they authorize y'all to issue the debt.
Okay, so excuse me, we'll hold off. We'll go back then. I didn't realize that on this. Okay, because I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do it. So we'll back up.
Okay, I'll move to approve the resolution for mayor and council.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. Councilman Allen, you're muted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, gentlemen. Passes unanimously.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
So at this time, we are going to take a motion to move from general session to executive session. And I think we already really did have somebody.
So move. I said so move.
All righty. Those in favor from Vita?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Council, need a motion to enter into executive session for the purposes of discussion of real estate and litigation.
So
The
moved.
potential litigation.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Councilman Clay, you were muted. I believe you said aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. That is unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen.
And thank you, Madam Mayor, for telling us what we're going into executive session for. All righty, let's move on.